Hey everybody, this is Beelit, and today on the Beginner's Guide to Fighting Games we're talking about frame data. Frame data is the science behind the moves. It describes to you how your moves work. So in order to discuss frame data, let's identify what a frame is. A frame is a frame of animation. If you've ever seen one of those little flip books where there are tons of drawings on each individual page and each drawing is a little bit different from the drawing before it and after it, so that when you flip through all of the pages it looks as though there's a smooth animation in front of you when it's really just the culmination of several different drawings. Well, each page in that flip book could be described as a frame of animation. Most fighting games run at 60 frames per second, which means every frame is 1/60th of a second. A frame measures time. So with that in mind, we can take that and start applying that knowledge into the frame data. So we're going to go over a few different things: startup, recovery, hit advantage, and block advantage. First up is startup. The startup of the move is simply how long it takes in order for that attack to take effect. So if an attack has a 6-frame startup, as this attack does, Quick Claw, all that means is that in 6 frames it is going to be able to hit the opponent. That's it. Now recovery means that the attack takes 20 frames in order to recover so that you can then move again. So let's visualize this. You can see on the left hand side that my inputs are now being displayed. When I press square button, which was that 6-frame attack, it's going to be 6 frames until my attack then hits my opponent. Alright? There. Now I'm actually going to hold back, and then you're going to see the time that it takes for me to recover, which was 20 if you remember correctly. So I'm going to press square and I'm going to hold back, and pay attention to how long it takes for Catwoman to end up walking backwards. That was the 20-frame recovery. There you go. So now for these slightly more complicated things: hit advantage and block advantage. So let's go ahead and talk about what an advantage is. An advantage can be described as the difference between both players and their recovery after a certain action is performed. A hit advantage describes the difference in recovery once an opponent is hit by an attack. That means that they did not block it. Once they are hit by an attack. If an attack has a hit advantage like 15, then that means that the person that hit the opponent has 15 frames to recover faster than their opponent did, which means they will be able to perform moves 15 frames before their opponent will be able to perform moves. Now, in the opposite direction, what if the player has a hit advantage of -8? You could describe that as a hit disadvantage of 8. That means that when the player hits the opponent with that certain attack, then the person hit would actually recover 8 frames before the person that hit them with the attack. Now, this actually translates straight over to block advantage and disadvantage, with one difference. Whereas hit advantage described the advantage that was given after someone was hit by an attack when they were not blocking, block advantage is the same thing, but when they block an attack. So, if someone used an attack on a blocking opponent that had a block advantage of 3 frames, that means that the player that used the attack would recover 3 frames before the person that blocked the attack. If that person had a block disadvantage of, say, 5, that means that the person who blocked the attack would have a 5-frame advantage against the person that used the attack. This can create situations in which people can be punished for using certain attacks. Being punished just means that you cannot do anything to protect yourself. You're recovering from some sort of action and lack the ability to protect yourself. So let's look at a few different cases of block advantage and block disadvantage. So this first attack starts up in 6 frames and has a block advantage of -2. That means my opponent is going to recover 2 frames before I do after they block this attack. Now, flash is actually set to automatically perform his fastest special move, which is a 6-frame attack. I should be safe, right? He will only recover 2 frames before I recover, which means I'll be able to block before that 6-frame move can complete and then hit me. So let's go ahead and test that. Yep, I was able to block in time. Now we're going to look at a different attack. This attack actually has a block advantage of -9, which means that my opponent is going to recover 9 frames before I do. So that means there are 9 frames where my opponent can do something and I haven't recovered yet. I cannot block. So that 6-frame attack should be able to fit into that 9-frame window, meaning I can't protect myself. That attack should hit me no matter what I try to do. So let's go ahead and test that. As you can see in the inputs, I was trying to block, but I couldn't. I was still in recovery. I was punished for that attack. So, I hope you understand frame data a little bit better now. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those questions in the comment section and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, I would greatly appreciate it if you supported the video, and you can do that by leaving a like or sharing the video with someone that you think might enjoy it. You can also subscribe to my channel, that way you can follow it, and whenever I upload something, you'll be notified. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.